Good morning. So this is feedback for the happiness question, English Language B, Paper 1, Section B. This is from the Tuesday, June 5th, 2018 morning paper. So this is feedback from the happiness question. So let's just quickly look at the question. Use ideas from both text 1 and text 2 in the extracts booklet to answer this question. You're advised to spend 1 hour on this section. You've been asked to give a talk to your peers with the title Happiness. Write the text of your talk. You should include what might make you happy, so that's a bullet point, what might make you unhappy, reasons why it is important to be happy. Think carefully about the purpose of your talk and the audience for whom it is intended. It's worth 35 marks. So let's just go and have a look at the mark scheme now. So this is what they're looking for. Section B, assessment objectives. AO1, read and understand a variety of texts, selecting, ordering information, ideas and opinions from the text provided, 10 marks. So we'll have a look at happiness and see how your script has done. So, AO2, adapt forms and types of writing for specific purposes and audiences using appropriate styles. So, you're looking for a talk to peers, so you have to make it clear you're talking to your friends. Candidates should address all the areas. The following list indicates some points that candidates may make, but there are other possibilities. Some candidates may interpret the task more widely and use other examples than those mentioned in the passage. And I think your piece is you've used it more widely. But you do have to read and understand a variety of texts and select and order information from the text provided. It is a comprehension and a rewrite question. Okay, and AO3 is worth 5 marks. Write clearly using a range of vocabulary and sentence structures with accurate spelling, paragraphing, grammar, and punctuation. So they're suggesting here that what might make you happy, which they've taken totally from the text, of course, because that's what you have to do, add a little bit of your own, but on the whole, what might make you happy. Being positive in your outlook, friends and family, relating to other people, being appreciative or thankful for what we have, developing healthy eating habits, all of these are in the text, aren't they? Avoiding alcohol, getting involved in sporting activities, taking part in outdoor activities, not sitting indoors all day, not spending too much time on computers. All of those are in the inserts from the 2018 paper, the article by Williamson, and the article that's an advert for basically why you should go to private school because it makes you happier. One was a blog, wasn't it? And one was an article. One was written by a professional happiness guru, and the other one was written by a lady who was trying to encourage people. You didn't see it, but she was going to try and encourage you on another page to go to private schools. What might make you happy? Bad feelings, dissatisfaction, conflict, being a teacher, hormonal changes, drinking alcohol, taking drugs, being ungrateful, not eating properly, not getting enough exercise. So just have a little read of those. And then we'll look at reasons why it's important to be happy. So read those. So all of those are taken from the texts, aren't they? We're using the text to write a really lovely piece. What we do in life, we often read other pieces, take the key points and put them into our own words. That's effectively what we're doing here in the register of a talk. Okay, it's a persuasive transactional writing section. It's where you're actually doing something to persuade, inform, argue. It's not the creative piece, it's a persuasive transactional. You're trying to get something done. Okay, part of the exam. So you're clear about what they're looking for, okay? Now we're going to look at what you've written. I'll just zoom that down because I seem to have, there we are. So let's just quickly look at the question again. You've been asked to give a talk to your peers entitled with the title Happiness. Okay, so you can do what you want with it. That's actually really easy, isn't it? I would say, wouldn't you? You've been asked to give a talk to the title Happiness, so you can talk all about what those extracts say. Think carefully about, so what's the purpose of your talk? You could probably make up your own purpose there, can't you? Let's just put the question in here. Okay, so there's your question. So let's read what it said. Happiness is an emotion caused by dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. I expect most of you don't care about that though, do you? I will instead discuss what makes me happy, what makes me unhappy, and why it's important to be happy. Okay, so we can say good. This actually seems to be addressing, a direct address here. Okay, which is what we want. We want to look at deforest basically, don't we? Deforest, which is a useful thing. Which is direct address, anecdotes, alliteration, facts, opinions, rhetorical devices, repetition, emotive language, statistics and similes, and the rule of three. And then I actually add I on the end, imagery. So we're trying to look at those. I'll just put that in as an I, right? If you've forgotten, you can look at the videos that are on YouTube. So, do you? Yeah, I will instead just what makes me happy, what makes me unhappy, and why it's important to be happy. Yeah, so a nice introduction there. And this is facts, isn't it? So we're happy with that too. I'll put that in green. There are a few main things which make me personally happy. Of these things, my pet guinea pigs are the main ones. There's something therapeutic about them. So, okay, a nice angle, guinea pigs, enthusiastic about those. So this is nice vocabulary there. You've chosen interesting vocabulary. Yeah, so you also want to use 8 types of punctuation. You want to show off. Yeah, you want 8 types of punctuation to show off, don't you? So I'll put that in orange, 8 types of punctuation. They're very fluffy and very tame, so I will frequently stroke them. Okay, so that's a compound sentence. When their food supply is low, comma, I will refill their food and watch them excitedly eat the food. Okay, good. So that's actually a nice little piece, a complex sentence with a subordinate clause. My favourite thing about them, though, is where I put my head in their hand in their cage, comma, they will smell my hand. This behaviour is absolutely adorable. Good. So, yes, absolutely adorable. Alliteration, isn't it? And then, yeah, you could put what they smell like. We could do sense description. It never goes amiss to do sense description here, especially since you're talking about smell. But anyway, okay. The runner-up to making me happy is my technology. This is mostly video games and YouTube. I mainly use YouTube to watch guinea pig related videos and news about video games. I also watch videos of people reviewing, ranking, or nitpicking video games. The actual games I watch are the same ones as I play Mario games. Okay. I've always enjoyed the Mario platformer games. I like the satisfaction of collecting everything. The variety in things to do is what makes it so fun. 1 minute you're on a tropical island and the next minute you're in outer space. There is also lots of creative and at least a few years of development per game. Now I'm going to discuss what I don't like. The main things I dislike are my numerous medical problems. I don't feel comfortable covering all the details here, but I'll mention some of it. I can think of at least 5 medical conditions that I have, and I have to take 6 separate medications every day. My medical problems have definitely made my life much worse. Bless you. To close off this document, I'll discuss why happiness is important. Without happiness, why would anyone bother doing anything? So lovely, direct address again. Humans would be as boring as watching paint dry. Okay, lovely, lovely image. Good, well done. Happiness is the best motivation for anything. Oh, that's sweet. Okay, so it's competent. You've actually you've grasped semicolons, complex and compound sentence structure, questions. You've got various types of punctuation, and you're very competent in the way you actually write that. So I'd probably give you 5 marks for that because, I don't see why not. You're competent. I'm not going to drop you any marks for that, to be honest. 5 marks. Let's see how many words you've got. I think you've probably got about the right amount of words. Let's have a look. Tools, word count. It's a bit short, but it's okay. It's good. It's all right. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's got nice paragraphs. Yeah, paragraphs are good. Okay, so we're happy with that. It's simple. It's very touching. Now, gorgeous. Now let's have a look at the mark scheme. You've been asked to talk about to your peers with the title happiness. Write the title of your talk. Write the text of your talk. You think what makes you happy, what makes you happy, a reason why it's important to be happy. Think carefully about the purpose of your talk and the audience for whom it's intended. So you have actually talked from a very personal view about happiness. Okay, so I'll give you that. It does say use ideas from both text 1 and text 2 in the extracts booklet. You're not doing that. And you're going to lose 10 marks for that. So you should really read and understand a variety of text, selecting and ordering information from the text provided. How much could we say that you selected from the text provided? I mean, the whole general idea you've got, but let's have a look at the mark scheme. So, okay. Level 1 is referred to at least one bullet point. You've referred to all 3, so let's go straight to level 4. Covered all 3 bullet points, systematic, offered a good number of relevant points, probably such as those suggested in indicative content, demonstrated sustained consideration of happiness, made well-focused, pertinent comments about all aspects, used evidence in an effective way, demonstrated good appreciation of all the bullet points. Look at level 3, 5 to 6 for this point. Covered all 3 bullet points securely, offered a reasonable number of relevant points, demonstrated sound awareness of happiness, showed appreciation of positive and negative aspects, used appropriate material relevantly. That's the problem that I've got, is you're not using appropriate material relevantly. You're not putting, the general, it's about you, which is fine and it's charming, but they did ask you to use appropriate material. So let's look at level 5. Covered all 3 bullet points in appropriate depth, offered a wide range of relevant points, such as those suggested in indicative content. Demonstrated strong regard to the nature of happiness. Presented well-focused comments with strong reference to all aspects. Supported their points strongly with apt and well-chosen examples. Showed strong insight into all 3 bullet points. Let's have a look at the question again. You've been asked to give a talk to your peers with the title Happiness. Yeah, so I mean, really, it was charming. It's all about you. You should perhaps, because it's asking you to broaden it out and talk about. Here it says, read and understand a variety of texts, selecting and ordering information, ideas, and opinions from the text provided. I mean, what you should have done perhaps is taken some opinion from the text. Or quoted the expert opinion or something that health is absolutely key, or staying grateful is really key and you're grateful to your guinea pigs, or being positive about your guinea pigs. Yeah, and then just you could have quoted some of that evidence basically. All right, so you could have gone and quoted some of the evidence. If I just go back and give you some idea what you could do, it's fine though. So you maybe could have used this example of review of more than 160 studies found clear and compelling evidence that happy people have better overall health and live longer than their less happy peers. And you could say, because of my guinea pigs and the fact that, I've got them with me all the time and, they give me a great sense of joy and love, then it gives me happiness, which helps me to look after my complex health conditions. You could actually add that, your happiness impacts on your mum and your dad and your brothers as well. Because if you're not happy, it impacts on everyone, doesn't it? And then quote that bit of information. Extensive study in the British Medical Journal followed people across 20 years and found that their happiness affected others in their networks across 3 degrees of separation. In other words, how happy we are has a measurable impact on the mood of our friends and also their friends. So then you could have applied that to your own family. And then for the first one, what can we say? You could talk about grateful teens are happy teens and you're grateful for blah, blah, blah. Quote that. You could have done that. Or you could have said that you're not active. Active teens are happy teens, but you're not particularly active, but you're on computer. In other words, use this particular first one. It's a game. You have to use the texts, obviously, to get those marks. You obviously have got inspired by happiness and written a piece on happiness. You're spot on. But you haven't used the texts. So look through and see what you could add. Okay, so what am I going to give you? That's what we're interested in most of all, I can imagine. So I'm going to give you, you have covered all 3 bullet points securely. You have offered a reasonable amount of relevant points. You have demonstrated sound awareness. It's sound. Yeah, because you're not level 2 because you have done all 3 of the bullet points. So fine, I'm going to give you 6 because I'm feeling generous. Okay, 6 marks. What have you done wrong? No real evidence from texts. Hang on, no real evidence from the text, basically, is there? Need to be careful to obviously use one or both texts, please. Okay. Right, let's go on to the next bit. AO2. Use professional judgment to award up to a maximum of 20 marks according to the following grid. Placing in any of the mark bands should be on a best fit basis. So I'm going to let you just have a look at that and try and give yourself, give this piece a mark. So read it and then give this piece a mark. So I'm not sure what you would have given yourself, what you want to give the text, but I think it's something between level 3 and 4. I think it's sound to good. So it's sound in its capacity to write appropriately for a talk. Yeah, we know it's a talk. We can see that you've addressed them. We've got a clear grasp of how to relate to the specified audience. You're telling them all about yourself. So, yes, that's okay. And you're a peer, you're a teenager, aren't you? Write with sound control over style and tone. Yeah, you basically have got your own individual quirky style and tone, haven't you? That comes across delightfully. Choice of register and vocabulary relates soundly to audience. Well, yeah, you haven't lost them with detailed vocabulary. It's very obvious. You're talking about games, which will also intrigue your audience. So yeah, level 4, writing shows good appreciation of required approach and format for a talk, a good well chosen tone of voice, vocabulary varied, flexible, appropriate to the task, relates well to the intended audience peers with the use of appropriate register. You see, I think you could have had more addressing the peers with a bit more fun in there, and a bit more generalised idea that you're talking to everyone, not just about yourself. Actually, this is inclusive. Anyway, I'm going to give you, I think, 12. I'm going to give you 12, I think. So what does this add up to then? 11 or 12, I'm not sure which, but anyway, let's have a look. I'm a bit stingy, me, so it's not a problem. I am actually stingy, which is good because when you get an exam, you'll do better perhaps than I suggest. Anyway, so we've got 12 plus 6 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So you've got 23 out of 35, which, probably, is a sound 6, level 6 maybe? Might even be higher actually. I'm not sure whether it falls, but anyway, it's a solid pass. It's solid. It's competent. It's decent. It actually is, we're very happy with that. Um, we would prefer it deeply if you actually did refer to the text. So I'm just going to leave on that screen. Read AO1, read and understand a variety of text, selecting and ordering information, ideas and opinions from the text provided. All right, that is the bit you've forgotten to do, really. Yeah, it's not obvious that you've used those, is it? That you've done that. So I'm going to put this here. That's your learning point. Control V. Yeah, so I'm going to make it big and bold. And the next one I see, I strongly hope that I don't have to remind you of that. I'm not sure how much they penalise you for not referring to the text, you see. But they do give you marks for the bullet points, and that's what I've done. All right. Okay, well, I hope that's been helpful. And make sure you look carefully at my model exemplar answers on these. So that's why we look at how other people answer them. The exam board sends out example answers so that people have an idea how to answer these things. Okay, so look at the section B, SAMS, sample assessment materials. All right, that the exam board sends out, and look really carefully at what they're looking for. All right, have a good afternoon, and I hope that's helpful.